Welcome to the Unsung Photographer. Hi there, boys and girls. It's Bob Kearns, the Unsung Photographer here. Back one more time with the answer of the week. And the question that the answer is to is a pretty broad one. And that is, what is the best editing software I can use for my photography? Well, that's a pretty subjective question. Best is always hard to define. Best, baddest, boldest, brightest, coolest, hottest, doesn't matter. But I do have a recommendation for you, and we're going to keep it short and simple. Already up here on the screen, you can see up on the left-hand side, we've got Lightroom, and the right-hand side, we have Photoshop. I'm not going to tell you one over the other because these two are a pair. They work together. You really can't separate the two. If you try, you're going to be beating your head up against the wall. Photoshop is the industry standard photo editing piece of software. It is simply the most powerful tool you can possibly use to edit and create visual art, any piece of software out there in the universe. On your left, you have Lightroom. And Lightroom is essentially a cataloging and raw processing piece of software from Adobe that allows you to track your photographs, catalog them, sort them, put metadata with them. If we go to the library module here, modules is a term you're going to hear a lot when people are talking about Adobe Lightroom. It is essentially module based. So you have the library module, the develop module, the map module, the book module, the slideshow module, print, and web modules. They each have their own function. The library is where you'll add all your data to your database. Metadata, what titles, captions, copyright information, all kinds of good stuff there. All the editable EXIF data, and your IPTC data. The develop module is simply where you take your photograph and you can modify it. You can change the exposure, the contrast. You can make it silly bright or silly dark. Put it back where it was. You can throw the clarity way up. You have a very powerful editor here. You have tone curves, split toning, detail where you can do your sharpness, your noise reduction, some color noise reduction. You have special effects. You have vignetting. You have this cool new thing I like. It's called dehaze. And you can really super over clarify these things if you want to. Or you can add haze to them, which is an interesting effect. But I'm still exploring a lot with it, but it's turned into being a really kind of a cool tool. I like that. And camera calibration, which gives you a lot of control over the baseline of your color profiles for the camera and lighting setup you're using. Very powerful, very cool to have. There is some editing capability here. There's a brush tool. It's a little crude. There's a lot of things you can do with it. There are different masking options, a circle, a gradiated mask, red eye correction. If you've got red eye in your photographs, it's a real pain. A more experienced photographer probably won't have too much of that issue, but a lot of folks starting out and amateurs will have that issue with red eye. That's good to get rid of it. You can crop, do some basic flaw removal for maybe you have dirt on your sensor or on your lens, or some details you can remove. But again, it's very crude, but it works. There are certainly courses online you can find where people do pretty extreme editing still within Lightroom. I think they're really fighting an uphill battle, myself personally. They're really wrestling to make that piece of software do more then it's really comfortable doing. Generally, when I get into really complex edits, I pop these things over. You hit Command E, and bang, that photograph will pop over into into Photoshop. And of course, Photoshop, like I said before, is simply the most powerful piece of editing software in the universe. So, my recommendation is this. Go get the photographer's package, $10 a month. You get Lightroom, and you get Photoshop, and you're set. There's nothing else that you need to have. After that, you can go get plugins that work with both. Nick plugins are pretty cool. I like the other Google plugins. Their black and white plugin is quite awesome. On One has some interesting software that interacts with both Photoshop and Lightroom. There are lots of cool packages out there. Some photographers online might recommend the Alien packages, Alien Skin. They're pretty cool. There's Topaz. They have some really nice plugins for Photoshop. So there's a lot you can do. You can certainly buy packages of presets from people. Presets are a good way to sort of give yourself a starting place and figure out how to manipulate things if you sort of reverse engineer them. But really, go get that package, $10 a month. That's what I'm going to tell you. So the answer is, what's the best editing software for my photography? The answer is the Lightroom Photoshop package, $10 a month from Adobe. Good enough. All right, guys, take it easy. I'll see you later. And see you again next time. Bye.
Shall we begin?